Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. This morning, we are going to be going over the CRM management, ways to keep your CRM organized, ways to continue to build your CRM, different things like that. I'm going to hold off before jumping in so we get see if we can get a couple more people in here. But as we go along, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A chat feature, and I will answer them or I'll do my best to monitor them and answer them as they come up. And also, if you have any questions afterwards and you'd like to set up a meeting with me, we could do one of these, just a private one-on-one virtual meeting, and I can go over any questions that you might have related to any of this stuff. So we'll wait a couple more minutes as people start to continue to funnel in. Some of the most helpful ways to probably get the most out of these virtual trainings is to somewhat follow along with your kvCORE screen, and kind of just actually doing it is going to be a little bit better than just hearing me speak about it. So to those of you who are just joining in this morning, today we're going to go over the CRM management in kvCORE, ways to keep your CRM organized, ways to some of the benefits to keeping your CRM organized, ways that it can help you do other things in kvCORE, and I will go over briefly different ways that you can bring contacts into your CRM. So we'll hold off for another minute or so as people continue to continue to funnel in. And to those of you just joining, if you have any questions as we go along here this morning, you can drop them in the chat, in the Q&A feature that we have here on our webinar, and I'll do my best to monitor them and answer them as we go along here. But okay, I guess we could dive in here. So so the CRM is kind of the lifeblood of everything that you do with kvCORE. It's your contacts, it's your leads, it's everything. As you all know, this is Jim always says, he says your CRM and your sphere, that's your paycheck. So it's important to kind of nurture and keep your contacts organized and engaged. So the CRM in kvCORE, it's accessed here beneath the dashboard in the Smart CRM option over here on the far left. So first, different ways that you can bring leads into your CRM. There's the initial way that when I first start out with all the agents as they begin their kvCORE, you can mass import all of your contacts. The way you do that is in the lead engine feature. If you have a spreadsheet that is along the same format that they want, you can just dump your contacts into the kvCORE Smart CRM, and then they go in that way. You at minimum need their names, and then it's good to have. It's definitely beneficial to have their email addresses too, and then phone numbers. So if you have all that information or most of that information, you can put it on your spreadsheet and upload that into kvCORE. Now you can grab that spreadsheet from different ways. You can manually keep it yourself, or you can grab it from Matrix. If you have all your contacts in Matrix, you can export a spreadsheet from there and then throw it into here. Or you can download your cell phone contacts and export them to the proper format. Or you're brand new and you don't have any organized contacts that way, and you're just going to build it all from your kvCORE CRM organically, and that is totally okay. That's definitely something that some people have to do, and everyone starts in different spots. So there are many different ways to have leads come into your CRM. Another way is to manually enter a contact. And the way you do that is you click this green add a contact button, and you just simply type in their name, their email, their phone number if you have both of or one of these bits of information. Then you enable the permission to call, email, call, and text. Of course, call and text, you have to have their phone number, but email, this just, it says you are responsible to ensure that you have permission to contact this person via text, email, or phone. This is kvCORE taking your word that you're good to call this, or you're good to contact this lead. Of course, kvCORE will not be liable for any sort of breach of any rules or regulations that you might be breaking. In terms of someone may be on a do not call list or anything like that. They take you at your word that you are able to contact this person. Then you'd put information if they're a buyer, seller, renter, vendor, agent. You can put multiple of these too. So you could say like, oh, well, I don't know if they're a buyer or seller. You can just put them as both. And then if you don't want it, something, once you've selected, you just select it again. Lead status, we'll go over this in a minute about one of the importance of keeping your leads organized is the lead status is the biggest thing. Some lead status options, sphere, prospect, new lead, active lead, client, they're under contract, they've closed, and then archived is they disappear from your CRM. That's someone that just really is not, they've expressed they're not interested in working with you. They are working with another agent. For whatever the reason may be, you don't want them in your CRM. You don't want them getting anything from you. You just move them to archive. And then you can access them once again, but they won't be visible on the front page of your CRM. And then the lead source, of course, is going to be a manual ad, but you can also, like, let's say you met them at church, you can put that as church, a grocery store, or something like that. Obviously something non-digital, because if it was a digital source, you would have them in here automatically. You can assign a lender. If you have a lender that you work with, you can assign one of our lenders that are in the system. And you can also choose to CC that lender on all correspondence that you have with this lead. And then you can add a note to this contact. So there's a lot you can do right off the bat here with manually adding a contact. But hopefully your contacts are coming mostly from your existing database, and then also any sort of other lead generation tools that you'll be using, which we of course went over some of those yesterday, and different things like that. So hopefully you're not adding too many contacts manually. Another way that contacts will come into your CRM are if you are promoting any of your listings, or if you're hosting an open house, if you're using an open house app, or if you're running a property boost, anything like that, those contacts will automatically be uploaded into your CRM, and you won't have to do anything with those. Okay, so let's talk about ways to manage your CRM. So here's our list of all of our contacts. Of course, you will have several more than me. I just have 6 in here that are all just for test purposes. As you can see here, it's got bits of information about each contact. It shows how much you've exchanged emails, texts, any calls that you've made to them. Those will appear here. And then it's got a ranking system. You can set your own ranking, or kvCORE can kind of come up with its own rank for the contacts based on if it has verified that the email address is a good email, and the phone number is a good phone number, and this person is responding to your texts and your emails. kvCORE might rate it at a very high rate, like this person is very likely to work with you. So that is something to keep in mind. And you can set your own, again, you can set your own ratings. It's got KV. You can enter in manually the interest for each lead. Um, you can do that, or if you have a contact that has come into your CRM based on any of a squeeze page property, or a property that you've shared via Property Boost, or a listing you've put on Facebook, something like that. Like if this contact came into your CRM by opting in as a lead, kvCORE will automatically read that property that they clicked on as that contact's main interest, and kvCORE will begin to automatically send them property alerts. So every so often they'll get all the similar properties to that, and then they will be receiving stuff on your behalf or from you. So that is a cool feature about some of the lead generation, is that right away they'll be automatically getting property alerts from you. So this is the front page. You can change these columns too. Like you might want to see who their lender is, or if there was a referrer, or if they have a spouse or anything like that. You can see or their capture method, like how this lead was captured. You can, of course, all of mine are manually added, but so that's the source. But like you can see different, a little bit of different options here. And if you don't want to see all these options too, you can say, I don't really care to see the day that this lead was created. You can just take that column away and clean it up a little bit. So a lot of ways you can customize it. Also, for many of you, you have hundreds, if not thousands, of contacts in here. You can change the rows. Like right now, I have it just set to show 20 contacts. Of course, that's plenty because I only have 6 contacts in here. You can have it show 100 at a time. So that makes your life a lot easier. You can show 100. Other things you can do on this home screen before actually accessing a single lead and editing that particular lead is you can select multiple leads, and you can email a lead or text those groups of leads, email that bunch of leads. And it won't be like a mass email or a mass text. Like it won't be like a group text, like how if someone texts your phone and several other people's phones and you guys are in a big group chat, that won't be what this is. You can text these people and it'll be individual messages that go out. So you can send out a text to 100 of your leads, and when they receive that text, it won't be this big group of 100 people that no one knows who those people are. It'll just be a text to that one single, that they'll receive it as just a single text. So that is a very cool feature about what you can do here. Something you can also do, and this is where this feature is very valuable for organizing your contacts, is you can select multiple leads at once, and you can go over to the more actions option, and you can add a hashtag to those leads, or you can add a task to those leads, like, oh, I want to remind myself to call them tomorrow. You can add a campaign to them, or you can also change their lead status all at once. So this is really valuable when those of you who have imported a whole bunch of contacts at once, they all go in under the same lead status without any unique hashtags. This is a really good way, a really quick way for you to organize your CRM. So let's say you put in 250 contacts as you're setting up your kvCORE profile. They all go in as your sphere. What you can do is you can scroll through these. You can just scroll through each page and select as many as you feel necessary, and you can change their status to prospect, or you can keep them as your sphere, or anything like that. So that's a really easy way to organize your contacts. Like you might put in a whole bunch of these contacts, and realistically, maybe only 2/3 of them are actually members of your sphere. The rest are just prospects, or their past their past clients, or whatever, and you want them listed as something separate than your friends and family. You can go in and do that very quickly, and it really will help out different things in the future. And here's an example of that. So let's say you go through and you've already given every contact the proper lead status. Before I speak on the next topic, I just want to let everyone know that if you have it set to show 100 contacts at a time, and you go through and you select a whole bunch, and in order to give a hashtag or to change the lead status in the more actions tab, just be mindful that you can only do a single page at a time, because if you were to select 4 leads on this page and then you were to go to the next page, kvCORE will forget that you had selected those 4 leads on the previous page. So you'll have to do each page individually. So just keep that in mind, so that you're not going through each page, selecting contacts, and then doing it at the very end of your list. Because you'll only that one single page will be accomplished. So something to keep in mind. But anyway, here's a reason why it's good to have your contacts, and there's many more reasons too, but here's a good reason why it's good to have all of your contacts organized with hashtags and with the proper lead status. So first thing is, a reason to have all the hashtags dialed in is, let's say you get a property or you're hosting an open house in Orchard Park. What you can do up here is you can do hashtag Orchard Park, and then it filters out all of your Orchard Park people. So you see these guys, they have a hashtag Orchard Park, and they're both buyers. So what you can do is you can select all these people, and you can text them, hey, I'm hosting an open house in Orchard Park on Saturday. Again, obviously, this will be months down the line when we're able to host open houses again, but this is just an example. I'm hosting an open house in Orchard Park. Here are the details. I'd love to see you. So that's a big reason why having the hashtags taken care of is good. And then for different reasons, like this person, you can do a hashtag for something that you know that they are interested in a home. So this person's like, I really want a house in Orchard Park with a pool. Well, let's say you come across a listing that has a pool, but maybe it's in Hamburg, whatever. You can just say, "Ooh, I have a pool. I'm gonna send it to the guys that I know who likes pools," and then you can email it that way. Also, in the listings option, you can email or text different listings to a hashtag. So you might find a listing in the listings tab here, and one of the options is to send that listing to a hashtag. So you can say, "Oh, all my pool people, take a look at this." So very, very, very important, and very very useful to have your contacts with all the hashtags organized and the lead statuses. Now I know that it's a little bit daunting to think to go in and give everyone a hashtag. I understand that, because those are a way to keep everyone organized, like very uniquely organized. But as leads come in, like as you promote listings, or as you host open houses, or run property boosts, you will those leads, as they come in, you can add hashtags as they come in, or you can set it like with Squeeze Pages, how we went over that earlier yesterday, or with the open house app, you would set it to apply a hashtag to those leads automatically. So like if you're hosting an open house, you're using the open house app, you would set those hashtags ahead of time. You won't have to come back into your CRM and add hashtags later on. So there's many lead generation tools that will automatically add the hashtags for you. So don't worry about that. But yeah, again, so anyway, I just showed you ways to filter out your hashtags on your CRM. There's other ways to filter out your contacts. Like there's endless ways to do that. The first way to filter them out is by lead status. So let's say during these times, you really want to keep in contact with your sphere and send them messages like, I know this is a very uneasy time for everyone. I've had a lot of agents contact me about this, so this is what I'll use as the example. This is a very uneasy time for everyone. I just want you to know that we are still thinking of you and hoping to be in touch soon. If you want to just send that out to your sphere, one of the ways you can do that is by just having only your sphere show up in your CRM here, and then you can select all and send a mass email or a text. You can also show only your buyers. You might only want your buyers to show here, or your sellers, or both. You can do that. Other things you can filter out. I want only my 5-star rating people to show, or all these different things. Now, what's also cool is you can save a filter. Like if you like to come back and see what, like if you really like to contact your prospect, like your active buyer leads, you can create this filter and save it, and you would just save it as active buyers. You'd save it, and then you just come back here. Of course, I don't have anyone in there that fits that mold, but I think that would be a common one. You can come back in here and you can see all your saved filters up here. So that's a very cool thing to do. I'm going to go back to, and you can remove the filter too. Other things you can do is you can filter based on behavior. So this will of course be, this will of course be, I have to go back into my CRM, of course. You can look at behavior like, I want to see people who have market reports on, or who don't have market reports, who have responded to my texts, that you know they're active and they're communicating with you. People who have saved properties, who have requested showings, things like this. You can really see and filter out your most active leads that have been communicating with you. Or you can filter out, like, I want to see all the people that the last time I texted them was last week. So you can see these are all the people that I owe a text message to. And you can filter out based on property interest, pretty much anything you can do. So you can go in, though, to make this far less daunting, you can go in and you can save your filters. So that is, and then you can you can filter out your contacts that way. So it's incredibly important to have your CRM dialed in and organized. And for that the reason being is that you can filter out all your contacts. You can filter out and track their activity. You can just, the whole name of the game is you want to send them the most relevant content. The whole name of the game here is conversion. And you just want to nurture and cater to your contacts in the most beneficial way. And the way you do that is you send them relevant information, and you communicate with them on a relevant basis. And the way you do that is by having them properly identified in your CRM. And so that'll lead to, taking the time to organize yourself and to organize your contacts and to really care for them is going to really boost your conversion rate. Now, before we wrap up, we're just going to quickly go through each contact, and I'll show you all the ways that you can kind of keep track of your contacts. So this one, I've clicked on Jim Smith. It's got his phone number, his email here. You can see whether they have search alerts or campaigns active on here, if they're receiving market reports, or if they're taking, if they're getting a listing. You can grab a listing tracking report. So like if you are selling Jim Smith's house, you can add the listing ID to his contact here, and then daily this guy can get a traffic report, and he can get a report. What that is he would get a report on how many people are viewing the listing. So what you'd have to be sharing it pretty consistently on social media, running a property boost and all that, in order to really get some numbers that are going to impress your seller. But that's one way that you can really woo a seller, is by saying, I'm going to be using my optimal social media experience and in order to sell your house the best way that I can. And daily you're going to get reports on how well all of these posts are performing. So that's a thing that you can do if you really have a seller that wants to be on top of you, on top of your marketing. Over here, you can also see the hashtags associated with this lead. You can add a hashtag by clicking this plus sign. And also here, you can take them off. You might say, okay, this person doesn't want an Elma home anymore. I'm going to get rid of it. So that hashtag has been removed. And you see over here on the activity feed that it's been logged. So I might wonder, well, what the heck? Why is Jim Smith not getting my Elma information anymore? And I'll say, oh, wait, that's right. I took the Elma hashtag off. Over here, it's got a summary of the lead. It'll show when the lead first signed up, where the lead came from, and also the lead interest. Lead is interested in Erie County for around 150,000. So it's got like a little snapshot here of what the lead is interested in. Down here also you can throw in more details. You can add a lender, add a second cell phone or home phone, work phone, put in their home preference, their address if you'd like. This right here is important. You want to put their last, if you have ever helped them close on a house, you put their date here of that, and then you can have kvCORE automatically send them anniversary reminders, congratulating them on closing on their house and all that. Then it's just got all their information. You can put their spouse's name, their spouse's email. Those don't have any functionality associated with them, but it's good for you to know, yeah, of course. So yeah, you can put as much as you want here. Any of their social media, their birthday. Same thing with the close anniversary is kvCORE can automatically send out happy birthday emails and texts, which we've gone over in past webinars. You can also set alerts here. If you're working with them as a buyer, you can set up property alerts here, and then track what they're viewing and things like that. You can also call, text, email, and add notes, and all of these other options here. Behavioral alerts. You can transfer a lead to someone else if you'd like. And then, of course, we have our whole activity feed here. All your past contacts, all your past touch points, all the different hashtags you've added, tasks added, all that. So that's the CRM management. If you have any, I know we went over a lot today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I thank all of you for tuning in. And if you have any questions about anything we went over, please send me an email or give me a call, and we can set up a virtual meeting. And again, I thank you all for tuning in, and I hope that this has been somewhat helpful. Have a good rest of the day.